true nature or the colorful nature? Welcome, travelers of the internet, to Brighthelm Recording. This is your host, Master Buckle, playing Pillars of Eternity. We left off finally claiming Cadnua as our own and talking with the grieving mother. And I'm feeling like we need some adventure out and away from this castle and the endless paths and all that. Let's go take a march up north to the White March. And to start doing that stuff, we need to go speak to the steward, apparently. So let's head off to do that thing. Hireling payday, 1,300. That's a lot of money. Me oh my, a lot of loading screens between here and there, wasn't there? Ahoy there, steward.
My lord, you've received a letter, delivered with some urgency as it happens. I thought the messenger might swoon, poor dear.
Oh, did you get them some water?
It's from Stalwart. Apparently the mayor, Renengild, has heard of your success here at Cadnua and hopes you can be of aid to her people as well.
That's a long way for a letter.
People like you come few and far between. And in this case, I believe Renengild is correct in suggesting that your experiences here may give you an edge. It seems she's intent on gaining access to Durgan's battery. And she's offering quite the reward to anyone who can get inside.
Ooh, Durgan's battery. That's where the dwarven steel is made. Oh, crap. What is it called? March steel. It's super, super high quality stuff.
A reward, she says, for getting into the battery. That's a reward of its own, surely.
Durgan's battery? As in the source of Durgan steel?
Ah, the very same. All manner of people have been trying to infiltrate the keep for years. Our own Earl was much taken with the story of the battery's fall.
So, not many people know why the battery fell. It's kind of a mystery. Like, the dwarves just kind of got mad and started killing each other off and all that.
There are many legends concerning the battery. As the Earl told it, the dwarves fought amongst themselves, each seeking to use the battery to further his or her own ambitions. Greed and cruelty brought down the battery, and now the spirits of those same dwarves roam the halls. Whatever happened, the battery has been impenetrable ever since. A shame. I don't doubt that there are great treasures still within those halls.
I do enjoy vast amounts of wealth. I'm sure the wonders of the battery are a marvel to behold, but if the passes through White March were to open again, it would be boon to merchants of the republics. And the Deerwood, of course.
I should mention that among those rumored to have answered Renengild's summons is a certain group I believe you may have an interest in.
The Leaden Key?
Followers of Woodica, intent on reaching Stalwart and the battery. I do not know what they seek there, but I thought it worth mentioning, given your interest in the ruins at Defiance Bay.
Yep.
Now that I've delivered Renengild's message, there is also a local matter of some concern, my lord.
Uh-oh.
A mercenary band has been sighted to the northeast. I believe they mean to take Consul Hot's tower, and I don't expect the Archmage will go quietly.
I'm pretty sure that guy is a wizard. Oh, yeah, Archmage, yeah. He made spells.
Consulhot's one of the greatest wizards of our generation.
If the Torn Bannermen succeed in claiming Consul Hot's lands, they may find Cadnua a tempting target. I fear you may have to deal with them eventually, one way or another.
You know anything else about the mercenaries?
Little enough, I'm afraid. The Torn Bannermen are well supplied and well organized, and there are rumors that they are backed by an unknown benefactor.
Unknown benefactor. Somebody, probably a rival wizard.
They have proved remarkably effective in the past, and they are certainly a threat now.
Okay. Well, I'll see you around.
Safe travels, my lord.
Of course. Safe travels. So I could just go straight to White March. They could be the bandits who were taking my taxes. Let's see how much the bandits have taken last time. They collected a reasonable amount of taxes, I guess. Console Hot does sound dangerous, though, too, because a lot of wizards just go mad. And, like, I guess they get that superiority complex going, and they believe themselves immune to everything else, and, like, maybe we should just go to the White March. Let's head to Stalwart.
You set out for Stalwart. The White March rises up in the distance, stretching to the north and south as far as the eye can see. It beckons to you with peaks like broken fingers. The road thins to a tattered ribbon, and the shadow of the mountains falls across your path. You've barely begun your climb when the darkening sky pummels you with hailstones and turns the ground beneath you to ice. You press on. The air grows thin, and the treacherous mountain passes funnel screeching winds past your ears. A blizzard forces you to make camp for 3 days, huddling for safety while snow piles around your refuge. At last the weather clears, and you approach Stalwart under a crisp blue sky. There's a noise, high and sharp, coming from the village that sounds at first like another frozen gale. But when you top the rise and reach the village's wooden gates, you see what lies beyond them.
Dun-dun-dun.
It's Darzier, with a whole pack of them.
We can take these bastards!
My goodness, they're in rags and hides and all that. We gotta save the townsfolk. Protect the little ones.
You're mine.
Where are you guys going?
Lava. That's it.
Stunzen et Bossenagel Bats!
Oh, they had gems on them.
Look out! More of them by the fishery!
By the fishery.
That's it. Lava. Lava.
It's white wolves. So this is the fishery over here? By the waters, I'd assume.
You bet. Brave. You better.
Crag ogres. I'm guessing this is where they broke in from. What did that wolf do? Look at these cannons they're firing. Goodness.
That's it.
Darzir's fallen. Back to the matron now.
They're retreating. The ogres stood no chance. Yeah, You're the one Guild sent for. She'll want to speak with you. Her house is just up the way next to the Grief Christ. Messenger pants, waving smoke away from his face.
Katie's house is burning! Hurry! They're both in there! Help! The hut's coming down!
The hut's coming down. The roof of this hut is almost entirely enveloped in flames, lighting the snow in stark orange hues. Several beams have been reduced to ember-dotted husks. Through the hut's threshold, you can see only billowing smoke. Fire roars as it climbs the timbers. The air feels thick and hot, and the building is a maze of flame. Withstanding the smoke and navigating the fire will be a challenge. I'll do it myself. You leap over the burning threshold, plunging past a veil of smoke. Inside the house, fire has pitted the walls and beams, and a thick haze rolls through the building. It is hard to even see a few feet ahead, save for the occasional glimpse of glowing embers. Crouch down to avoid the smoke. You move onward through a haze of heat and soot. The hut groans and shifts as the blaze grows. Above, a beam begins to sag, threatening to crash down the corridor. From just ahead comes the faint sound of a voice calling for help. I feel like we need to get moving fast. As the beam overhead finally gives way, you sprint forward and into a graceful roll, avoiding the burning logs that come crashing down. Despite the smoke and flames, you remain unharmed and unhindered for the moment. Pressing forward, you come at last to a wider room. To the left is a man, the source of the faint cries for help. He stands trapped behind a curtain of flame, arms raised to ward off the heat. It may be impossible to reach him without quenching the fires first. To the right, a woman lies unconscious beneath what appears to have once been the roof. She's small, but the rubble trapping her looks heavy. Smoke winds its way up and out into the open air, obscuring all sight of the outside. So the man on the left, he can get out himself. The one on the right, the woman, she's trapped. We need to get her out first. This woman is trapped beneath a considerable amount of rubble, including a heavy crossbeam. A purpling bruise on her temple suggests that she was struck as the debris fell. On her outflung hand, you can just make out the glint of a ring. Lift the rubble off the woman. Keep trying! After a period of fruitless struggle, the beam finally begins to rise by slow degrees. With one great and final effort, you heave the last of the rubble clear of the woman. Though still unconscious, the woman is free of the rubble and can now be moved. Let's carry her out. The woman is of a slight frame, and carrying her proves easier than freeing her from the rubble. You hoist her carefully onto your shoulder. Can I help the man out? You approach the other victim. A sudden flash over singes your arms. It doesn't stop you, but the pain steadily grows. Help! Please help me here. A man dressed in the haphazard armor of a local guard stands trapped at one side of the house. Fire has worked its way across the floorboards, blocking all escape. Come on, man. You're a guard. Freaking muscle your way through. You move toward him, but the flames scald your arms. He also tries to move towards you, but the flames rise higher and block his path. I'm out of here, man. Beset by smoke-clogged air and burning debris, you find the ordeal taking its toll. Still, you press on, determined. Keeping a firm hold upon the unconscious woman, you turn for the exit. You clear the fallen beam with easy grace, avoiding the scattered embers and debris underfoot. The smoke clouds your vision and makes it difficult to breathe, but you stagger onward. At last, you come to the door, rushing out of the blaze and into the mountain air.
Katie, thank the gods you saved her.
You alright? I was sure that thing was coming down and taking you with it. The man wipes his brow and stares up at the collapsing house. At least you got Katie out when you did. As for poor Lurgold, his eyes widen as a section of the roof collapses. He looks away, shaking his head. You look like you could use a drink. Take this over to Hayfrix and have one on me. Flips you a couple flat carved bones. Huh. Well. He was conscious. Like, he could have ran out on his own. I'm sure of it. He chose to stay in there. That's all I'm going to say. If he would have just manned up a little bit. I feel welcomed in the town of Stalwart.
Fresh fish, freshly caught.
Somebody's already making sales.
Effigy's eyes! It looked at me!
What?
Ah!
Scared of some fish? What's wrong with the fish? A dozen pairs of globular eyes stare up piteously from the discarded heads of the day's catch, awash in a pungent sea of fins and innards. Sift through it a little bit. Your hand runs up against something round and fleshy, the size of a melon. It is smooth and scaleless, and parts seem to be covered in hair. A discarded head, perhaps? But not that of a fish. I will pull it out. With one hand on either side of the head, you begin to lift it out of the barrel, only to have it leap from your grasp as the head's owner springs over the lip of the barrel in an eruption of fish chunks that rain down over the market stall. What? The man who leaped from the barrel stands facing you, nearly naked save for a loincloth and drizzled in fish viscera. He is covered head to toe in scars, tears, and punctures, and the thorny imprints of lashings. Most are faded, like old memories. Despite that, the condition of the man's body is remarkable. The drooping skin at his flanks and elbows, the only evidence of his advanced age. His face is placid, but the rest of him appears prepared for anything.
You must forgive Zawa. I was not expecting you.
Zawa, huh? He looks you in the eye at first, but his gaze drifts now and then, settling on strange parts of your face as though distracted by new discoveries. If he is at all flustered, he gives no indication. What were you doing in that barrel? Zawa scratches behind his ear, dismayed.
Resting my eyes, I thought. Waiting for the Malkachoa to bring me insight.
Malkachoa? Were you doing drugs? He shakes his head.
It would seem I dozed. A good thing my master was not alive to see it.
Zawa blinks, leaning in to get a better look at you. His enlarged pupils seem to crowd out his pale irises. Yeah, I think you're high on something.
Are you real?
Now that you ask, I'm not so sure.
We shall let the matter rest for now, then. Until the Malkachoa wears off.
I've never heard of Malkachoa.
A small white mushroom. I've heard it called snowcap in these lands.
Yep. Drugs.
It can reveal the true nature of many things.
True nature or the colorful nature? You have a master, you said? The man traces your inadvertent glance at his scars. He smiles politely. Yeah, he does have a lot of scars on him. He might be a slave.
A teacher, not an owner. Zawa is a free man. Well, as free as any of us.
Okay. He teaches you by beating you or something? I still don't understand. Why were you in that barrel?
I was freeing myself from vanity.
Vanity, You seem very concerned with your appearance, I see. Did he say sanity or vanity?
Consider, how can one be vain who is bathed in the smell of dead fish?
You know, it's hard to argue with that.
I had the idea when I passed this way earlier. I am pleased with the results so far.
I bet you are. He smiles at a woman whose head is swiveled towards him as she passes by, a look of revulsion on her face. Distracted, her toe catches on a stone and she nearly falls on her face. He claps his hands together.
Yes, quite pleased.
Right. Let's maybe peer into him. Like, are those scars from battle? Zawa glances down at his body.
From battle, yes. I left them upon my enemies.
Ah, it's your calling card, the crisscrossing scars. So, you're the Scarface man.
Shut up, Marv! Jeez!
These were struck against fear. These against pleasure. These against hatred. Those down there against greed and doubt. And these...
Points to his face.
These were for vanity.
So, the face scars are for vanity. So, this is what you are. These scars. I suppose, armor yourself up in layers of your own calloused hide. It's one way to do it. I prefer a solid breastplate, though. You made those scars?
I cannot take credit for all of them, but I did most of the good ones.
The good ones, he says.
I put them there in battle to remind myself what is real and what is not. Our worst enemies are inventions of the mind, pleasure, fear. When we see them for what they are, we become unstoppable.
I suppose, but I don't. Maybe. And you have achieved
I
this?
feel I have been close, but never for more than an instant. In the moment when the pain is sharpest, the world becomes clear. In that moment, I am a match for anyone.
Your wounds must have caused you to suffer greatly, though.
Of course, I am fortunate to have suffered so much. If I did not suffer, I would not aspire to free myself from it.
Free yourself from suffering with fish guts. What?
I would wander from one unfulfilling goal to the next. More wealth, a better station. My soul would wither.
Perhaps.
But to search for a place beyond suffering's reach is to nurture the soul, to harden it against the elements.
He clenches his fists in illustration.
Suffering is the greatest gift the gods have given us. Their most beautiful, perfect creation. It is the hand that turns the wheel.
His eyes gleam as though looking upon an old and beloved friend. So, do you often do that?
Gods, no. What a way to travel the world.
Yeah.
The usual way is to smear yourself with the ashes of the dead. But they do not burn their dead here, so I have to make do with what the land provides.
Well, there's a charred body up there you can go do. But I also feel like that might be desecration of some sort. Like, they may not appreciate you doing that.
The cold seems to conquer the smell. Even now, the scent hides itself. Disappointing.
Well, given how you're dressed, you're probably not from around here.
I was visiting a monastery, not far from here. I found it empty, but I met a messenger as I left.
Is that right?
He carried a call for aid. Seeing that he would find no monks at the monastery, I chose to go in their place.
You went in the place of the monks. Okay.
Zawa is no longer young, but in combat he is still the greatest of the Takan people. It seemed only right that he should go.
Okay. Stalwart hired me as well.
I would not say I am hired. I seek no wage, and I promise no result.
Oh. Sounds like my kind of guy.
I have chosen a path, and my spoils come from walking it.
An uneasy frown settles on his face, almost a wince.
And this fortress, this Durgan's battery, its people are gone. Zawa would know why.
If you seek the White Forge as well, I could use the help of an experienced warrior. Zawa's face tilts upward, his eyes fixing on the sky. He remains motionless, entranced. At length he blinks as if awakening and looks back at you. He shrugs cheerily.
If one wishes to swim, it is no time to argue with the current.
That's pretty smart, actually.
We are here together in this moment because a perfect force has willed it. Who is Zawa to argue?
He looks you squarely in the eyes, and for once, they do not drift.
I will walk with you so long as the gods wish it so.
Alrighty then. Let's be on our way then. Who do we want to replace, though? Because you seem interesting. You're a monk. You could probably do some heavy damage, I'd imagine. So Kana Rayla. Let's swap out Kana for a bit. Go with Zawa.
Too predictable.
Too predictable, huh? We wanted to go to Renengild's house. You see a middle-aged woman and a younger man locked in an argument. Both wear clothes streaked with blood and dirt. Young man turns to the woman, a fresh cut visible below his eye.
They've destroyed the stockade, Mother. It's...
Enough. They're gone.
She holds up a hand which is missing the final joint of the ring finger, but it's her voice, sharp and steely, that silences the young man. As he glowers at his toes, she turns to you with dark circles under her eyes and a smile pulled taut across her thin lips.
The deliverer of Cadnua. Thank you for making the journey. Abidan knows it's a long one.
Abidan, the god of the forge, and crafts, and stuff like that.
Well, I'm sure you wagered on a more civilized welcome. Still, we're much obliged for your capable intervention.
It's alright. Seems more frontier, kind of like the Living Lands. Udric pulls a knife from his belt and an apple from his pocket and sets to work. I was told this has to do with Durgan's battery.
What's in it, to be exact?
She folds the map in her hand with a quick and merciless pinch.
Stalwart isn't much more than a grease stain on a map. What roads we've got in the White March are basically tracks in the snow. And for every trader or adventurer that comes through, 3 of our own leave for good. But it weren't always so. There was a time when kings and queens sent their firstborn to these mountains, when the White March was the envy of empires.
Her eyes shine. For an instant, she looks like a much younger woman. How the mighty have fallen. What an era this must have been for the White March.
The Pargrin dwarves transformed the White March once. We could bring some of that greatness back to Stalwart. But we need the White Forge.
She raises the map and types a spot in the middle of a white and gray expanse. I have heard of it, though, the White Forge.
Of course. Been over 200 years since anyone's felt so much as a summery breeze near it.
She smooths the creased map.
I'm hoping you can do something about that.
How so?
We've been trying to breach Durgan's battery for over a year now. Problem is, the other expeditions can't so much as dent the front door.
Tell me about these other expeditions.
A dozen different groups have come through at our request, and several more besides. Been hoping that one of them could clear the way through Durgan's battery.
So you're just contracting all kinds of mercenary groups and adventuring groups. Wow. I got a lot of competition in the way.
But young or old, green or seasoned, it don't seem to matter. They cast their spells, chisel at the door, and search the grounds until they've worn new treads into the old stone.
That's not how dwarven doors work.
Melon.
Spells, chisel. Come on, don't they know?
The lucky ones eventually go home.
Melon.
Plenty more find themselves on the wrong side of a blizzard. Or an ogre raiding party.
Why the sudden interest in the White Forge?
We're an old mining town. Or we were until the Adirans pulled out and left us with a half-dug mine shaft and something resembling an inn.
I mean, the buildings they look kind of sturdy.
Since then, it's been a steady decline. You've seen the roads. Isn't much we can produce that the Valians can't ship cheaper.
So you want that luxury good, the March steel. It is what we do.
But the White Forge... Well, if we could fire it up again and start producing Durgan steel, or something close to it, wouldn't matter if we're in the White March or the Living Lands, business would come.
I keep on saying March steel. I can't remember where March steel comes from. The young man says nothing, but he tosses a sliver of the apple peel into the fireplace. That's why you need my help.
That's the long and
The
short of
doll
it.
stag.
We're laborers and fisherfolk, not adventurers. But Durgan Steel could put Stalwart on the map again. Open up the mines, bring in new business. We just need the White Forge.
Okay. Any idea where I should begin?
The battery's up the mountain to the north. A good hike away.
All right.
Near Galvino's place, huh?
Uldrick says it in a breezy tone, but Renegild falls suddenly silent, consternation hardening the lines on her face. I take it this Galvino might be a problem?
So it is. Though I was going to suggest dealing with that ogre camp before anything.
Yeah, it does seem like they're gonna harass this town again. Tell me about the ogres.
Belongs to Flames that whisper. Matron Baragon's clan. Hunters tell me they've been active of late.
And why have they been so active? Ogres are pretty violent creatures. They just like being violent.
Hunting elk and otherwise minding their own damn business.
Minding their own business. Never mind the latest expedition's disappearance or the broken stockade.
Yeah, it seems like they're minding their own business.
I'm saying we shouldn't agitate them further.
Well, I mean, I won't agitate them. I'll just kill them all. Like, if you want me to kill some ogres, just say so.
Can't speak for my son, but I'd be most obliged. Also, Baragons like to have whatever the last expedition found. Rumor has it they disappeared near her turf.
So there's loot involved in it. Say no more.
Killing a matron will only make our problems worse. The way to approach Baragon is with your hands held high.
That sounds like how you get ate by ogres. From my own experience, that is.
If anyone could parlay with an ogre, I suppose it'd be you. But they aren't known for their patience with prattle.
Okay, well. If they reach out to me first without the attacking, maybe I'll consider it. But if they attack me first, I'll deal with them harshly. Who's Galvino?
Mestre Galvino, as the old crosspatch prefers it, lives by himself and keeps the wilder and beasts at bay through sheer foulness of his temper.
Alright.
She means to say he's a skilled smith and animancer, who's lived in the shadow of Durgan's battery for over a decade.
An animancer, you say? Why is he living way out here outside of, like, you know, a group of circle study stuff place? Books? And by animancy's flimsy standards, that makes him an expert, does it?
And he butters his bread on both sides and fits his left shoe before his right. But that's neither here nor there.
What's wrong with buttering bread on both sides? You seem flustered all of a sudden. Did he do something to anger you, Calvino?
Me and the rest of the town. He knows better than to linger at our gates.
He stole a body or two?
Old lunatic finally went too far. And we sent word to the Valiant Academies.
Went too far, huh? He, brought someone back in a vessel, and that person went and gobbledygooked someone's brain.
I don't like speaking on it, but if you want to get his guff, just remind him that we gave him the boot.
I see.
Ain't nobody here fond of the man, but he's a clever hand and a quick study. It's a fool who thinks he stayed so close to the battery without figuring something about it.
Mm-hmm.
You said as much to the last party, and we haven't seen hide nor hair of him since. Maybe they didn't run afoul of Baragon's ogres after all. Just watch your step. Galvino's place is a ways east of the battery, and folk who pass it bring unsettling tales.
Got it.
Good. Before you leave town, stop by the Graves Rest. Most
Graves.
visitors to Stalwart spend some time there, so Hafric and his patrons may be able to give you the lay of the land.
Alrighty. Don't know about you, but I'm parched all of a sudden. Yep. Alrighty.
Looking everywhere for you.
Have you? Who are you? The man is sweating despite the cold. He opens his mouth to speak, but all that comes out is a loud, hacking cough. He bends forward, bracing his hands on his thighs while he heaves and gasps. After a lengthy duration, he raises a finger, still panting. Yep, get it out already. Oh, Haferic's fault. Damn fool sent me to the other side of town, looking for you. At last he stands again. He wipes his dripping brow with the back of his hand and then offers the hand to you in greeting. Who are you? I pick my nose and shake his hand. Takes your hand vigorously. Pleasure to meet you. I'm captain of the militia around here. I didn't see you during the ogre attack. See, I was guarding the Graves Rest. Someone had to make sure those ogres didn't burn it down like they did Katie's house. It's a damn shame of that. Okay. I wanted to catch you before you went running off into the wilds. See, there's a few dangerous folk you might be on the lookout for. Plus, if you're heading out to Longwatch Falls, I thought you could pick up a thermal pearl for me. A thermal pearl. That's the thing. I already found it. I just need someone else to go out and get it. Meaning it's being guarded by a fish folk, a fish man, a Mirelurk. Saw it in the hot springs up near Longwatch Falls. Would have grabbed it myself, but that's when I looked around and saw the Logophyth. Logophyth. Must have been 50 of them. Goodness gracious, what are they? I would have fought, but I started to wonder what the rest of Stalwart would do without me, so I ran. For the sake of the village, of course. Oh dear, this guy here. Oh. What does a thermal pearl, what is it, huh? They form in the hot springs. Something to do with all the minerals in the water. They smell kind of funny. But they're full of minerals. Just have to crumble them into a pint. Crumble them into a pint as a little tincture for your scurvy, huh? Like I said, the pearls in one of the thermal pools near Longwatch Falls shouldn't be hard to spot. Tell me more about Longwatch Falls. It's east of Stalwart. Got some nice views of the valley, but most folk avoid it these days. Plenty of wilder nearby. And it only takes a few inches of snow to block the pass. If you're heading out that way, I'd suggest talking to Thirsk. He's might have something to help you deal with the Logophoth. Alright, that's all I need to know then. Stop by Thirsk's place before you leave town. His is the house next to the mines. He's a veteran hunter who knows the wilds better than anyone. Ah, that's handy. A veteran hunter of the lands.
Hard living in a place like this. It's
Don't
a
see
wonder
the harm.
anybody stayed at all.
Building's thirsty work.
What? Rayfall, are you trying to talk to me? What's that? Berth's bell?
Bereth's wheel of fire.
A big fire. My goodness. And they're just roasting fish over it. Awesome.
Ooh. Still can't feel my fingers.
You look like an adventuring sort.
Thought I'd found shelter when I stumbled across this little village. Guessing you did too, huh?
Fira raises a frosty mug to you. Even though the warmth of the hearth reaches you here, her hands are wrapped in weirwool and her ears muffled by a hat. Her face has the taut, wind-beaten look of someone who's recently come from the road. Man, would somebody shut that lady up? I'm trying to talk here.
As much blood as there was in the streets, I'm lucky the ale's still flowing.
She takes a drink, and as she tilts her head back, you see a bruise purpling her jaw and the crimson bloom of scraped knuckles. Were you in the scrape with the ogres?
Thought all the whispers about Durgan's battery were just village superstition. And maybe they are. But I might have been on my guard if I'd listened. I was part of an expedition, hunting for relics from Durgan's battery. We picked up a good haul, too. So it figures that's when the winds pick up and the sky starts dumping snow. We lost sight of the road. Meanwhile, something else found us.
Oh, yeah?
Took Liam out before we even realized we were surrounded. And then we see him coming out of the snow. These little four-armed wilder. Lagufoth, they're called.
Four-armed wilder. Uh-huh.
Quick little bastards. Francesca and I held them off as long as we could, but when they filled her full of darts, I turned tail and ran.
They darts?
Found my way here and thanked my luck for escaping the Lagufoth. Then come to find out that this town's got an ogre problem.
Yeah. What are you going to do now?
I need to get those artifacts. Not that I'm in any shape to go after them myself. But I can't afford to return to Defiance Bay without something to show for my expedition.
How about a cut?
But you might be able to get past the Lagufoth. You're light on your feet.
I could just muscle them out of the way. You say they're small? Like, I'm a pretty big guy.
I'll give you a cut for anything you bring back, of course. I ain't asking for charity. I just can't afford to go home empty-handed.
My kind of person. All right. Tell me what you're looking for.
Like I said, we were treasure hunting near Durgan's battery when we were ambushed. What else do you want to know?
What's wrong with your teeth? Show me your teeth. As Fira talks, you notice that her teeth and gums are stained with dark spots. As signs of Svef use. The tobacco that you'd kind of like stick in your gums, kind of. But apparently it's like more hallucinogenic than just regular tobacco, I guess. Snuff. Okay. Well, I'll see you around if I find those things. These guys tossing knives? I didn't see where it goes.
Owena! Go check on that Orlin. Make sure he don't steal nothing.
Oh, he's a grumpy dwarf bartender, I guess.
Never seen such a bloodbath. Feels like we got half the town's survivors in here, just drinking to forget it.
The dwarf surveys the crowd, his expression sober despite the half-empty flagon by his hand. He shakes his head and looks to you, remembering himself.
But you must be looking for some refreshment, too, after the way you handled them ogres. Or perhaps a room. Say the word and I'll give that shifty little Orlin the boot.
What Orlin?
Showed up a few days ago. Sticks his nose out of the back room just long enough to empty his chamber pot.
What's wrong with that?
Up to no good, I tell ya. I'd like nothing more than to see him gone, but I don't want to ruckus over it.
What makes you think he's trouble?
We get our share of lowlifes coming through here. Smugglers, fugitives, kith looking to avoid the sharp eye of the law.
I'm guessing the law doesn't really exist around here on the frontier.
The way he's keeping to himself. Well, honest kids sure don't have cause for it.
I mean, I get along better with animals and plants than I do people. So, like, a lot of people just avoid me. I don't know why. I guess I could talk to him.
Don't hurt him or anything. I just want him to leave peacefully. Given your history, I thought I'd be clear on that point.
My history? I mean, shoot, they always attack me first. Well, I mean, about 40% of the time they do it. But it's still not my fault.
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you?
Alright, I'll go see about talking to that Orlin, I guess. I was told I could get information here about the place. No Orlin in here? What over here? Owena? I don't think you were it.
Excuse me, was there something you need?
You nervous type, eh? Okay, then. Who are you? Aleph?
Not to be rude, but I'm rather busy. Can't you get another room?
Well, I could, but, you're suspicious.
He... what? Oh, no. No.
He runs his claws through his hair and tugs at his long, ragged ears. Can't imagine why you'd think a thing like that.
Is she there? Did you see her?
Owena? What are you so nervous about?
I was a slave in Raid Ceres. I ran away, made it here. The mountains are usually the best place to lose slavers, but Divala's one of the best.
Mm-hmm. As long as slavers haunt his steps, there can be no freedom for his spirit. Okay. Well, I don't feel like there's much law going on in Stalwart. I feel like it's mostly just mob justice, and currently the mob, as of right now, doesn't like you so much, so I'll just say I see.
I just want to get out of here. I've scraped together enough money to reach New Haomar.
And what's the problem? New Haomar? That's hardly improved. I mean, it's lovely. You'll love it.
But the locals talk about a Raid Ceres party camped west of town.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be Divala. She's been after me since the foothills. I'll pay you if you can get rid of her. I don't care how.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay. I guess we'll leave you to your devices in there. Let's see if we can talk to Hayflick.
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you?
No, we can't.
Top quality bear pelt.
What kind of beds do you offer? The Golden Whale. That's pretty nice. 2 dex, 2 might, 2 constitution. Wow. Let's go downstairs. Ah, gambling. Okay. The hero of the hour. Hayfrick sent you down to check on us. We aren't causing trouble. On my word. Odd place for a game. Is it? Hayfrick doesn't like me making a ruckus upstairs, so I get the cellar to myself, provided I don't go digging in his stores. Alright, sounds fair enough. That's a fair bargain, right, lads? We have our fun. Okay. Doesn't seem like much else is here. Maybe a bit cold down here, honestly. I guess you got a little fire there. This was kind of pointless. I feel like the hunter's house would have been a better place to stop at. Alright, where is he? Thirsk's house. There he is. I'm not done yet, damn it! Okay then. Ooh, what's that? Meat.
It must be soon. 2 days, no more.
2 days. Another dwarf. Got a lot of dwarves around here. This dwarf is busy staring into the fire, slowly puffing away on his pipe. As you greet him, he's visibly startled and his pipe clatters to the floor.
Sorry. Didn't hear you come in. My ears aren't what they used to be.
He stoops, wincing, to retrieve his pipe. He rises again, he has a hand against his side. Are you hurt or are you old?
Wasn't the ogres, I can tell you that. Put a few arrows in one of those and they generally have the good sense to back off. But I've been hunting this wolf for near a year now. A man-eater. Cunning, nasty thing. Every time I get close, it just slips away. The beast has already claimed many lives. The first victim was my son, Saldrin.
Thirsk looks down at his pipe for a moment, features hardening. Zawa leans in eagerly. Go on.
Got the better of me this last time. Distracted me long enough for one of its kin to turn up. Nearly bit me clean in half. I'm a few weeks out from trying again.
Yeah, the wolves around here seem to be getting really big. And, no offense, but you're a bit small. Where is the beast?
It roams the russet wood out to the west. Seems to have decided the lake is a good place to find prey. Yeah. It's picked off some scattered ogres from time to time. But mostly it's been going after hunters, travelers.
So this wolf has taken down ogres. I mean, clearly those ogres are no match for the tall stag.
It needs doing. But I warn you, this beast is not to be trifled with. It must make its lair somewhere to the west. If you mean to go there, keep your wits about you.
Oh, I've always my wits.
Watch yourself on the mountain. In these lean times, everything looks like prey to something.
I have some
Coming
questions.
to your elders for advice, is it? What can I do for you?
So, there's some things I need to know about the area. Like Longwatch Falls. And good thing you did. Hot springs north of the road are crawling with Lagerfoth. I'm surprised Tealdor found himself out there. The thing to know about Lagerfoth is they're fast. Tolerant to cold, too, so try another angle of attack. Fireball. Something seems to occur to him. He pats his pockets, clenching his pipe between his teeth. These'll come in handy. Use them if you get into trouble. He hands you a few sealed bottles. The old hunter looks you up and down, puffing on his pipe. Potion of mirrored image. But, if I'm being honest, you may not even need them. You handled those ogres well enough, and you look like you can hold your own against those Lagerfoth, too. You must have some interesting hunting stories.
Long hours checking snares and waiting out elk, mostly. Used to hunt some of the big ones. Bear, stelgare. But up here, it comes down to necessity.
I suppose so. Not much farming going on around here, other than potatoes.
Which means keeping Stalwart fed, or else keeping it safe. Thing is, the last hunt didn't go so well, as you can see.
Well, I'll be heading out soon, I suppose. And there you've an interesting episode of Pillars of Eternity, where we head to the White March, to new lands, to find more treasures and riches. But also we found ogre problems and Lagerfoth problems, and the entirety of Stalwart may be ready to implode at any moment. But But think of Durgan's battery. If we could open that up and produce Durgan steel again, imagine the weapons and armors and stuff we can make and make money off of and be rich. Riches do not consist in the possession of treasures, but in the use made of them. This is Master Barkle from Bright Helm Recording, signing off.